Where are we holding, you know? You have the book. You have the pamphlet, the book. We download it from the internet. We send it out every day. Every time we send the class out, we're holding on the page number. On page number.
Look at what page.
Did you walk?
Trying to
Did you
find
walk here?
No, you didn't walk.
I found the page.
I did.
Not that one. Oh, it's chapter three.
We're going back.
Three. Look for chapter
Here we
three.
go. Choosing an occupation.
This is for.
You need one? Yes.
Where we were, but that's okay.
What page, Reverend?
In the
Trying to
book.
find it. Okay, we're holding on page number 21. So page number 23. That's what, 21? No,
That's the last page.
That's page.
21. Let's go to 21. Second paragraph. Okay. Okay, good morning. Okay, oh, some more people. Okay, can you see me there out there in Zoom land?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm gonna start the class with connected to today's Hayom Yom. The Rebbe writes a beautiful statement, a teaching of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov taught the following teaching, and this is what the Baal Shem Tov said.
In the book.
Page in the book, we're on page 98. The Baal Shem Tov said, "Achas Meteres of Baal Shem Tov is one of the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov was as follows." In last week's Pasha, in the portion of Mishpatim, it says, "Kisira chamer seinacha." The verse says, "If you see the donkey of your enemy, azev tazev chadaltem azevla, you might think not to help it. Azev tazev imay, you're obligated to help the donkey of your enemy. Obligated to help your enemy." So the Baal Shem Tov said as follows. He taught the verse as follows: when you see the donkey, interesting, the Torah in general loves donkeys. You can see, he always mentions donkeys. The donkey of Moshe Rabbeinu, the donkey of Abraham, the donkey of Bilam, always the donkeys. Mashiach's going to have a donkey. So everybody is donkey. Why? Because chamer also has the same word as chumrius, meaning that every person, he is a donkey. Every person is a donkey. Because he has his denseness, his body is considered a donkey. It's chumrius. Chumrius means chomer, which is the right word, material, materiality, substance. So we know in Chassidus, it's the spirit over the substance, mind over the matter. Mind over matter, mind over emotions. Right? But there's also mind over matter. Means that spirituality over physicality, right? So we have two entities within us. We have our godly soul, we have our body. And we have, this is the struggle between the soul and the physical world. And this is a struggle, the connection. It's not the Chassidus teaches, the Torah teaches us that it's not a struggle. That the body actually was made to fit the soul, and everything that God wanted in the world was made to fit godliness. Is not a struggle, but in our minds, it's seemingly a struggle. This is the struggle between the spiritual over the physical. So the Baal Shem Tov said, if you come and you see your chumrius, you're going to look at your physicality, and you're going to, one who hates, you're going to say, oh, my physical is against my spiritual. It hates me. It wants my downfall, right? And what are you going to do about it, right? This is what this is something that's not a new thing. This argument of the spiritual and the physical is not a new thing. That's what separates with the Chassidus and Musar. What's the Musar movement? Was how do you break the how do you when you have the struggle, how do you overcome the physical? What do?
Destroy it.
You destroy, you break it. And as many times in the Torah it's written, it's been in the Gemara, it says, sometimes you have to whip the physical. You gotta whip it into shape, into obedience, right? So you're going to see this physicality, the donkey. You're going to see your chumrius. You're going to see your denseness, your body, your physicality as too much overpowering. I cannot handle it. So what do? Revis Tachamasai is lying underneath its burden. It's having a great burden. It's having great difficulties, right? The body doesn't want to give in, right? The body doesn't want to give in. Is that possible? The body doesn't want to give in. My soul wants to do A, the body wants to do B, and the body doesn't want to give in. So what do? So you might think, you might have, so the Baal Shem Tov said, you might think in your mind, you say, forget about it, let it destroy itself. Let the body destroy itself. You know what? Let the body go in self-destruction. I need to go in my spiritual life, and I'm going to let the body self-destroy. So the Rebbe, the Baal Shem Tov said, no, that's not the right way to go. The right way to go is not to destroy your body, is not to put your body in pain, is not to say, you know what, the body's bad, the body's against my soul, I'm going to put it through pain and suffering and let it have self-destruction, God forbid. No, my friends. The Baal Shem Tov said, you need to help him. You need to help the body. You need to help your nefesh. You need to help the chamer. You need to help the donkey. You need to help your donkey. Even though you might think the donkey is against you, but your donkey is your donkey is all what you have. If it is a donkey, you're not going to have anything else. So this is what the Eibishter gave you. You need to be able to work with the donkey and make your donkey, break through your donkey, make it the donkey that you can ride on it, right? And that's what Baal Shem Tov actually came to the world, to bring about the concept that we need to look at the world as not something that's contradiction to godliness, not something that is against godliness, not something you have to break or destroy, but you have to actually uplift it. You need to refine it. You need to bring godliness into it, and ultimately that's the purpose of why the Eibishter brought you to the world, right? The Eibishter, the expression of the Rebbe once said, the Eibishter didn't bring you to the world to bring you closer to God, but to bring God closer to you. Oh, wow. We have a problem, a good problem, that the Talmud Torah is growing by leaps and bounds. Baruch Hashem. And we're basically we are the korban for that. We're ready to have self-sacrifice for the children. So we're the ones who have self-sacrifice. Huh? They're using sanctuary. They're using every part of this building. So Baruch Hashem. Okay, so we're a little bit uncomfortable in this class, a little bit.
Suicide, which is against anything. Suicide happens because such that it doesn't understand that by killing the body, it's not going to survive anymore. It reaches such a point of pain and suffering that the body is going through that it decides that the best thing I could do is put myself in front of a train. And then,
come on, it's very sad. It's very sad. But I'm not going to, everybody goes through their own challenges in life. And nobody should go through the thoughts and this feeling of a person who wants to do
It's a
suicide.
horrible thing.
But it's horrible.
But it's really
Because it's
a
a-
separation of mind over body.
Because that's it's a difficult thing, and nobody should go through the mind of a person that wants to kill himself. God forbid. Nobody should have to think. But we should really start from before we come to that level of feeling that the body is, I cannot live in my body anymore. We should come to the level to realize that there's nothing better in the world than to live in this body. Whatever body God has given me, there's nothing better in the world to live in this body. But even more so, because he's going to go over here in another whole concept, and that is day-to-day work. You know, the Torah says in the Ten Commandments, Sheishes Yomim Tavid, 6 days a week you shall work. Right? Who wants to go to work? Who wants to work? Who wants to work? Right? Who wants to work? Everybody hates work.
I love work.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
We all don't want to go to work. And why? Because we think we think work, because we know why? Because we think work is an evil necessity. Work is not because the Abel gave me a talent or God gave me a capability to work in this world. No, because we just look at work because we need money. So we don't need work for itself. We need work because we need money. And we wish you had money without going to work. Right? Something which does give us money. So we have to go to work because we have to have money and we got to pay bills. But the truth is, the Abisha says Sham and Tavin, not because you need money. Right? The Abisha said to Adam and Ishan, they had to work. He said, I put you in the Garden of Eden to go to work. Why? Because a man and a woman needs to work. Now, I want to prepare you because always in any holy books, they always throw in something over here that a lot of people, especially a lot of women here, are not gonna like. So don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. I'm gonna preface it. Don't kill the messenger.
Are there any tomatoes in the room?
Don't kill the messenger. Because in general, most of the sages of the previous generations, especially we're talking about hundreds of years ago, that's right, this great man wrote his book, was written to men. They're written for men. Okay, they were written for men because that was the obligation those days, was for men to learn Torah. It was more an obligation. Today, we have transformed the world. The Rebbe said today the obligation to learn Torah is for men and women. Everybody should learn Torah. So a lot of these things are written to the man. To the man. It's I want to preface this because I don't want people to start getting screaming at me.
Better known
What he's going to say? Chas v'shalom. Chas v'shalom. No, the Torah was these books are written because women, the sages felt that women were perfect, and they didn't need to have any enhancements, and they were perfect the way they were. And the men needed to have a lot of work. So they needed to scream at them and tell them what to do and what not to do, etc. Even the Torah says in last week's Pasha, you should talk to the women. God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you better talk to the women very nicely. You better talk to the women like a gentleman. You don't scream at them. Don't tell them what to do. Be nice to them. And visagid, but when you talk to the men, you better give them over their heads. You'll clobber them. Don't have any rachmanis when you come to the men. So he's going to say something here that you might not take it a little bit offensive. So okay, so I warned you, and I preface it that you shouldn't. I think again because this book was written more to the men. The truth is, women don't have a problem with bitachon. We know that. We know that in the time, the Rebbe would always say this Zohar. The Zohar says that b'schus nashim tzidkanis, who were the ones who had true faith in Mitzrayim, were not the men. The men didn't have any faith. Not only Mitzrayim didn't have faith. They didn't have faith. You know, you look through the desert. You look through the journey of the desert. The 600,000 men that went out of Mitzrayim all died in the desert. Not the women. Why? Because they didn't have any faith. They had no bitachon. Here the Eibishter was telling them, I'm going to give you a land, and the Jews didn't have it. The men didn't have bitachon. The Eibishter had no faith. They had no trust in God. They complained always, and they always made trouble. And the women never made trouble. That's the reality. That's the reality. So that's why the Gemara says, Bini is saying, need to be Isha, that in general, a much deeper understanding was given to women. They have much more of intuition, a godly intuition and a godly feeling. And they have the concept of, the Abishta gave them to begin with the concept of birth and the aspect of the concept of the future. The men are more into the present. And therefore, in the merit of the Zohar says, in the merit of the Jewish women, they went on Mitzrayim. In the merit of the Jewish women, we got into the land of Israel. And the merit of the Jewish women, we're going to have Mashiach come. So really, the women are unbelievable. Okay, so right away I'm going to tell you right off the bat. I'm trying. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's roll. Let's roll.
Gentlemen does protest this much.
I don't want you to stone me. Okay. So here he says. So now he goes. Let's go. Let's learn what he says. It's very hard words. The B'chai who wrote this was he wrote it for scholars. He wrote this book for men and scholars. People who can handle his expressions. It's not always easy expressions. These expressions that he uses. So I think the book was not written for women, very delicate women. Lopelas, who comes to learn over here? Women.
And you're blessed.
You got some men.
And you're blessed.
Okay.
The old story.
So now he goes, choosing an occupation, what you do, you love doing. So since it's demonstrated above that people are obligated to make an effort to engage in the means to obtain of their livelihood and their needs, even though you have betachin, right? Oh, betachin, I have trust in God. He's gonna supply, so I can stay in my bed. It doesn't work the way the Torah says. Sheishes yomim tavid. You have to go to work. The truth is, the obligation of work is really, in general, the obligation of work is on the man. When you got married, if you're married, the man took the obligation of work in the marriage. Even though people work, even though today, because people want to have, a certain kind of a lifestyle that they both have to go to work. But the truth is, when you got married, your husband said in the ksuba that he's going to support you. That he's going to provide. That was his obligation. He's going to provide for you a home and food and clothing, and that's the obligation of every man when he gets married. It's not the obligation of the woman to go to work. So that's the Yiddish mama always stayed home and was there for the kids, right? But the world changed. Today it became, people both go to work, and sometimes they both need to go to work. And sometimes the women, don't have a spouse, or don't have a spouse at this present time. They have to go to work, whatever. But in general, that was the situation. Was the man needs to go to work. It was his obligation in the marriage that he would support his wife and take care of her. So that's why I think this was written to men, because they were told that they have to go to work. You got to go to work. It's no other way to do it. A man might say, I have a tach in the Eibush, I can sit and don't have to go to work. I'll sit and learn Torah all day. And somebody else will support me. I'll get the money from heaven. It doesn't work that way. Somebody has to be able to support you. And a man is obligated to go to work. Even in halacha, in Torah law, your son, you're allowed to send him out to work at a very young age. I don't want to tell you the age because you're not going to like the mother. But you're not allowed to do that to your daughter. You're not allowed to do. You have to support her until she gets married. You're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to. A son at 6 years old, up here, you can send him off to go work.
6.
Yeah. Okay. Don't do that. Okay.
Labor law.
You might go to jail. But in Torah, 6 years old, let him go to work. Let him go to work. Your wife, but your daughter, up here, I'll tell you, you're not allowed to do that. You have to support her until she gets married. You're obligated, and even after life, if you pass away, the state has to support the daughters until they get married. Not only to support the daughters, that they give them a dowry, to make sure the daughters have a dowry, so that she can get married. So Torah is very protective over girls, and this is that girls shouldn't go to work. They're not obligated to go to work. That's interesting. So I think this is written to men and the obligation. Maybe today again, but today women do go to work, and they should also enjoy their work. They should also realize that it's not that the work that makes them the money, it's the Eibishter who makes them the money. It's God's bracha who gives the money in the work. It's not the work. The work is only the tools to make the money. And you should pray to the Eibishter that God should give us all the right tools, that we use the right tools to make what we need to make. But it's the Eibishter that gives the bracha. It's not the thing that gives any bracha to anybody. Important. That's an important thing in betachin the Eibishter, betachin in God, right? So he says, we will now explain that not every person is obligated to pursue every means of obtaining a livelihood, and there are many reasons in which a person can engage. Some of those means are relatively easy because they entail little exertion, such as selling merchandise in a store or engaging types of handwork that involve little labor, such as sewing, it's a little labor, weaving and writing, or safeguarding merchandise. That's the easiest work. Those who contact sharecroppers and other workers to work the land, and those who are sponsor or see workers who work the land. So Machai should get a managerial job. Machai, boss other people around, won't have to work that much. However, other means to obtain a livelihood that involve much toil and exertion, such as tanning skins, mining iron, copper in the depth of the earth, refining silver by using lifting heavy tools, regular long distance travel, working the land and plowing and the like. So what type of occupation should a person choose? Answer is that you should choose an occupation that the Eibishter gave you the capability to do. Right? You should choose an occupation, the talents that God gave you to do, because it's not, again, your work. It's God's work. God put you in the world. 6 days a week is your work. Every person, I never met a person who said that their work is not hard. I've never met that person yet. They might enjoy the work, but at the end of the day, they're very tired, because work is a labor, whether you're a rabbi, a doctor, or a garbage collector. It doesn't make a difference. Every work it makes you yawn. It makes you tired. It puts you to sleep. That's it. It's a breaking of the book. The Mishnah says, I was born tired, so I know the feeling. So the Mishnah says, if you would learn Torah and you would work, you would never, ever do an Aveda. You would never, ever have time to do a sin. If people would work and would learn Torah, which both of these things are tiring, that's why exactly when you see a person, I never see a person yawning while they're watching a movie. But maybe last night. But if it's a good movie, they're never yawning. When you come to learn, suddenly by the davening, they're all yawning. We're all yawning away. Because it's work. Because learning is work. So why? Because you're not enjoying it. You're not enjoying it. We're not enjoying it. For whatever reason, we're doing it, but we need to enjoy it. If you would enjoy learning, if you would enjoy your work, then you would have less of a tiredness. It would ultimately make you tired, because everything tires out the body, but it would not make you would have less of a tiredness in what you do. And therefore it's important to choose something that you enjoy in work, that you enjoy to do. For a person who's physically strong but intellectually weak, it is appropriate that he chooses one of those occupations that require toil, but only as much as he can tolerate. Conversely, a person who's physically weak but has strong intellect should not pursue by means of livelihood tire out the body. Instead, he should turn to occupation that are easier on the body, so be able to continually be able to engage in them. In truth, every person has more of a desire for one type of work or commerce than other, which God has ingrained in every nature to love and cherish. The Eibishter gave every person his talent. That's it. The Eibishter gave every person his talent. And he should go to search his talent. So the Gemara gives an analogy. If you take a diamond cutter and you tell him to go and cook bread, bake bread, so you might say baking bread is important. And how can you live without bread? But that's a waste of a talent. That's taking God's talent, not just wasting this person's talent. It's wasting God's talent. That's it to look at it. It's wasting God's talent. God gave a person the capability to cut diamonds, and he's doing baking bread, and that's not his talent. Even though baking bread is important, maybe more important than cutting diamonds, but that's not your talent. And the Eibishter wanted that every person should use out their talent. The Alter Rebbe I gave once this mashal in the shul. The Alter Rebbe gave the mashal of the wealthy businessman who's traveling with a wagon driver, right? And they come into the city on Erev Shabbos. They come into the city like an hour before Shabbos, right? The wagon driver drops off the wealthy man in a fancy hotel because that's what he can afford. And he drops off the wagon driver, and the wagon driver goes to an inn. He goes to an inn, small hotel. He's both Jews. No, they're both from a Jews. And the wagon driver goes to an inn, and he parks his wagon, and he goes into the inn, and he books for the Shabbos. And they both go to shul. Out of Shabbos, they both go to shul. They prepare themselves. They go to shul, and both of them pass another wagon that is stuck in the mud. Right, so the wagon driver, he passes the wagon is stuck in the mud. He goes to shul, he passes by, he goes to shul. He sits in shul, he's davening, he's learning, and he's inviting everybody over to his Shabbos meal. He's a good person, he's inviting everybody over to the Shabbos meal. The rich man, on his way to shul, saw this wagon stuck in the mud. So he decides to help. Right, what are you gonna do? He decides to help. He doesn't know how to help get a wagon out of mud, but what are you gonna do? The guy needs to have help. He gets into the mud. He's working there for 45 minutes, 50 minutes. He's pushing there. He doesn't know how to do. He doesn't know how to get to it. He's getting all dirty. He comes to show. He's all dirty. He looks like a poor man. Right? Looks like a schnutter. And by the time he comes to shul, he has nobody to invite to his meal. He wants to invite people to do it, but everybody's invited already to the wagon driver. Right? So what happens? The rich man who could have invited all the people for the poor people from the shul to his house and give them a meal. Kiyad HaMelech, he could have fed the whole shul. And the poor wagon driver could have helped the guy get out of his thing because he's a wagon driver, knew how to get the wagon out, invited everybody to his house that had no food. What do you invite everybody to your sunnah? You can feed them as chalas. You can't feed them a meal that they deserve. So everybody does the thing that they're not supposed to do. The rich man should have got to shul first. The wagon driver should have helped the guy out with his wagon. And then he would have got the wagon out of the mud because he's a professional wagon driver. And the rich man would have invited everybody all the poor people from the shul to his meal. They would have had a meal. And that's when people mix what they're supposed to do. We're talking about subconsciously. Baruch Hashem, they didn't intentionally want to do that. But subconsciously, we do things that we're not supposed to do. We basically seemingly are drawn to, that's the Yetzer Hara, draw us to things that we're not supposed to do, that we're really not in the will to do. And that's a person should realize the Eibishter gave him a talent, whether it's to be a Rav, or to be a teacher, or to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a furrier, I don't know, whatever your talent is. Use it out to the best of your ability. And if it doesn't work out, go to another thing. Find something else. That the Eibishter, as you say, the Eibishter has many messengers of work in this world. Yeah,
What this says to me, it kind of goes with the whole fear of individuality and democracy in the United States, and maybe that's why Jews have done so well here. Well, to do what your work should be what you're talented in and what
Correct.
you're good at, not what your father did, your grandfather, and
100%. 100%.
it's worked out for us.
No, Baruch Hashem. Data says also when you have children, it's not what you want them to do, it's what they want to do. A lot of and this goes in general. It's we imagine that when we brought down cloning, we brought down kids that could be like us, and that's not true. That's not true. We brought down kids to be individual people, to be who they're gonna be, to be what they can be. Not what we can, they have to enjoy what they're going to do. The Eibishter gave them a talent like he gave us a talent. And therefore, you have to let them be who they can be, not what we want them to be. And that's a big struggle we have with our children. Ultimately, hopefully we learn. Sometimes we learn the hard way. That it's not exactly the imagination that you had when you had these children.
Big struggle.
It's life, but that's you need to live and let live. You need to let your children grow up and do their own path. No, it's important. It's important. Very important.
The teaching of the boy in your father's footsteps. He was the head of this business. You're going to be the head of this business.
But that's not God.
But in Jewish practice, always wish our children better than we. Better than we had, better than we, whatever that means, and how they.
But it's not only, and let's say they're not better than me. We wish them to be happy and successful in whatever they do. And that's it, whether they're better than me, whether they're worse than me. They should each and every one of them be happy in what they do and be successful in what they do. As long as they're good, ethical, moral, holy people, let them do whatever they want to do. Let them be successful. If they want to be successfsuccessful, let them use their God talents in any way that the God gave them their talents to do.
Definition of
Definition
of success.
You're right, but you know what? One person's success is not another person's success. So you have to let that person feel that that's his success. So that's what you need to accomplish. You need to accomplish to make the child feel that listen, I want all my kids to be rabbis. They're not. That's it. I would love that. That was my dream. It was my dream. But it's not. I'm happy with who they are. And they're not rabbis. I mean, the ordained rabbis, not practicing rabbis, they're not pulpit rabbis. And that's fine. As long as they're good, honest, and happy individuals that are following the Torah. The Torah is like is a brand. It has the capability to handle any kind of a profession you might have. It is not not everybody needs to be rabbis. Not everybody needs to be doctors. Not everybody needs to be lawyers. Everybody, the Eibishter has place for every individual. The rabbi is not greater than the accountant, and the accountant is not greater than the rabbi. What? Or the water carrier. From the water carrier to the one who chops the wood, to the Moshe Rabbeinu, everybody was needed. Everybody was needed. So actually, this is Pasha. The Eibishter wanted that everybody, men and women, and anybody should be part of the Beis Hamikdash. It shouldn't be an exclusive event, a VIP building that was built by the few. It should be built by the many, right? It should be built by everybody, And whatever person desires to give, whatever he's capable of giving. The Eibishter wants the same thing. The Seicham, that the Eibishter, God wanted that every person, I would dwell in each and every person. That means what means the Eibishter dwells in each. It says, I'm saying a pasuk in today's chitas. But asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'seicham. You shall make for me a tabernacle, and I'll dwell in them. It should have said in it. I'll build a mikdash, I'll dwell in it. The Gemara said, "B'seich kol echad v'yachad." The Eibishter in essence wanted that everybody should be a mikdash. Everybody should be a vessel of my blessings. Not only the blessings should be in the Beis Hamikdash, in this Mishkan, but I wanted that everybody should feel that the Eibishter's blessing, God's blessing, could come in him. How do you do that? That means that the way to do that is to feel that whatever I'm doing is God's blessings. Whatever I do in life is not because of my own capabilities, even though it has nothing to do with Torah. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant. So what does that have to do with Torah? It does. It does, because the Eibishter gave you that talent. So I'm in the midst. I'm part of the talent. I'm part of this. The Eibishter wanted that every one of your homes, every home, all of our homes should be a house of God. How do we do that? How do we do that?
So the door, books of learning,
right
on the shelf,
and that God should feel comfortable to come
comfortable walking into your house.
Right? Yeah, that's a tough thing, right?
The refrigerator,
correct. And the house should have peace, shalom bayis. There should be shalom bayis in the house. There should be unity in the house. There should be happiness in the house. It should be a warm house. That's what the Eibishter wanted. That's when you have God in the house. That's when you have the Eibishter now. That's what Shanta B'Seicha. That's when the Eibishter is part of, even though I built the house. It's my house. No, I'm my wife. We built the house. We didn't create. No, this is what the Eibishter wanted in this home.
It's not only the physical home, it's our own personal life.
Yeah.
We safe place for ourselves in our own hearts, in our own shalom, right? And the Rebbe says what we say to ourselves is crucial. Be positive, smile in the mirror, say you can do it. And when you come in, that's your safety.
That's it. That's it. I love it. That's correct. So the Eibishter wanted that a person should be happy with who he is or she is. Be happy, look in the mirror and say, I'm happy that whoever I am, whatever man or woman, skinny or fat or whatever it is, you have to look in the mirror and say, I'm happy who I am. Right? To that, but writes in Tanya, he says the biggest problem in life is that people are a makim mekayim. People always want to be somebody else. They want to be the wealthy guy. They want to be the beautiful guy. They want to be the smartest guy. Everybody wants to be somebody else, and not realizing that the Eibishter created him to be who he is or she is. They don't want you to be somebody else. Doesn't want you to be another person.
The 10 Commandments.
Everybody else is taken.
Everybody else is taken, correct. That's correct. So, but it's very difficult to live a life that way, to live a life always wondering what if I could be somebody else. It's a very hard life. I feel it's a very hard life to live that kind of life. Sad. It's a sad kind of life to live the life of somebody else.
Because you don't feel you're good enough. It's time to feel you're good enough.
That's it.
Shliach for Mashiach. Every one of us.
Yes.
It's a shliach for Mashiach.
I wish I could be. I wish I could try to do that.
Best version of
lives
that
it.
person.
I wish I try.
He lives it.
I'm only 10%. I still have 90% to go. As I said, the Eibishter needs to keep me alone. I'm not finished my job. I have a far way to go. So I need to live a long life because it's never ending.
You bet.
Similarly, we find other living creatures that God integrated by the means of which they sustain themselves into their own nature. For example, he integrated in the nature of the cat to prey on the mice, in the nature of a hawk to prey on those birds that are fitting for it, in the nature of deer to prey on snakes. I don't know deer for snakes. I don't know. What do you want from my life? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Similarly, maybe the deers in those days, we're talking about the 1400s, so maybe those days they did it. Similarly, there are certain birds that only prey on fish. In similar fashion, God integrated the nature of each and every living species, a preposition and a desire for one of the species of plants or living creatures to serve as a source of food. Now it's truly amazing, it is truly amazing. Now I just thought I was standing last night before the movie. I wasn't going, but I was making the popcorn. I The Eibishter created corn. I was said to Binyamin, look at this thing. Think about it a second. The Eibishter created corn. Corn, right? In the Gemara, corn was a Michael Behema, right? Corn in the Gemara for animals. Today, what corn is? What is corn? Everything has corn. Everything has corn. Look at it. They took the Eibishter created a little corn, and look what corn. Look how many things corn today the corn does. It's like mind-boggling. It's truly unbelievable. It's truly phenomenal. We don't realize that the Eibishter created a simple food. Usually wheat was more important than corn. Today corn became more important than wheat, right? So it's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. The Flois Abeda, the Eibishter had such an imagination that taking us hundreds of years to come up with an imagination of what is the quality of a corn. How much can we take, whether it's good or bad or whatever, that's a separate issue. For what can it be used? Is it for a simple corn, for a popcorn? Also popcorn, if you like popcorn.
Popcorn is the perfect example of you'll never know until you try, because who would think that this hard kernel
Right.
could turn foamy.
Who was the first guy who came up with it? Who was the first guy who realized it? I don't know. No, you got to Google it. I'm sure you'll find out. Who was the first guy who came up with popcorn?
Fell on a fire.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It was an accident.
We
It was an accident, right?
I don't know.
I want to know who figured out it's better with butter.
But,
That's what I want to know.
but ultimately, when the Eibishter created corn, when God created corn, he had the imagination of everything, of all the things that can come out of a single corn in a corn. It's not normal.
Charles Brenner of Chicago.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
What year?
1880. Took so many thousands of years to put corn.
That's a long time.
Charles Cretter, Cretor.
So why did he get the name on popcorn? He should have been called Popcorn. I don't know.
He wasn't into marketing.
It's a sound today. There's so many companies that make bags, popcorn.
Everything you drink, all your Coca-Cola, all your drinks are out of corn.
Corn syrup. It's not so good for you, though.
Whatever. Okay, whatever. We're not gonna go down. Sugar's not good for you either.
Right.
Whatever. But the point is, the Eibishter had imagination. He created corn in Sheshim Bereshis, and I had to wait till 1880, some guy to figure out he can make a popcorn out of it, and we can enjoy it and watch a movie. I don't know how they got the movies, but that's the next guy. So unbelievable. Yeah, the Eibishter gave parnasa to millions of people. He didn't think about parnasa. He didn't think about parnasa, right? Amazon. How many Yidden make parnasa on Amazon? Millions. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Transform the world. Transform the world. So you're worried about the Eibishter, like the Rebbe would always say. People are worried about having children. Why? Why? Because of parnasa. That was like the money. The money is the most biggest dilemma of children. It was the Jewish people. The biggest, not having children was money. It was all about money. That was it. The Eibishter doesn't have enough money. God doesn't have enough ways to give you money. Well, that's the problem by God. That's his dilemma of money. The Eibishter wants to give you a bracha, and he has dilemma of money. That's his dilemma. Oh, he doesn't have a dilemma of giving you the bracha of children, but he has a dilemma of giving you a parnasa, giving you the capability to make a parnasa to support your children. Don't worry. If the Eibishter gives you a bracha of he can give you the bracha parnasa. He has enough parnasa, enough ways to give you a parnasa to support these kids. You have to have trust that the Eibishter is going to give you the parnasa. But the Eibishter, if you don't, the Eibishter gives everybody, Baruch Hashem, their talents, their capability. If you want to learn from an animal, and the Gemara actually says, the Talmud says we can learn from animals. Even means we can learn from animals. A lot of things we can learn from animals.
Horses,
the aspect.
horses.
Yeah. Every animal you can learn from. So you can learn from animals how they live, how they survive, how they and the truth is, what is an animal worried about a whole day?
Eating.
Eating.
Survival.
Eating and procreating. That's all they think about is eating and procreating. The truth is, that's what we go. What do you think? What do you think your goof is thinking about? Think about procreating, what it means to typhus in general,
And preservation.
and survival. Survival.
None
How do
of
you
them
survive?
contemplate the sunset.
That's it.
None of them contemplate the sunset. One of them looks and says, "Oh my God, look at that
Gosh, oh my
incredible."
gosh.
Let me tell you something. Every morning I walk outside over there. There's like 18 to 20 vultures that are all sunning in the sun.
Yes.
So they all need the sun. They say they're all standing over there and they're sunning. They see the greatness in the sun. They see them all
Well,
standing because
that's
they need the
specific because they don't have the right oils in this.
whatever. They know what they need. They know what they need. They know what they need. The point is they know what they need. Correct. Yes, I have vultures surrounding. It's very interesting. It's not surrounding my house. It's on the way to the shul. Every Shabbos morning, I walk to the shul, and by the thing, there's like 20 vultures over there. And I'm always thinking about it. Whenever I walk, I'm thinking, what are they looking at me thinking? Like what are they thinking when I'm walking? I always had the show. What are they thinking? Like, I hope the guy trips. I hope the guy, like, what are they waiting there for? They're like, this guy would be a good lunch. Whatever. I don't know what vultures are thinking. Whatever. So it's interesting, but the Abisha says, I'm going to put the fear of the animals in you. They're going to look at you. They're not going to want to eat you, right? Because they're going to, not because you're not food for them, but because they'll see the nefesh of the kid. The animals actually has the capability of seeing your godliness in you. That you don't see maybe in you. That's what it says. If a dog barks at you, maybe he's giving you a mussar a little bit. He's telling you, he's giving you a message. He's telling you, maybe you look like a dog. Act like a dog. You know, be a man, be a person, be a human being. Behave yourself. The Abishah made you greater than me. He gave you free choice. I'm a dog. I'll always be a dog. Nachmanasami. You know, but you're a human being. Okay, whatever. So let's go back. I don't know how we got into that. So God ingrained in nature in each and every leader's piece of, we did that already? Even the structure of the body and the limbs of each species is specifically to make them fit for the consumption of food. That is their nature to eat, as evidence in long mouths and long legs and birds and prey fish, but their teeth and sharp nails in the lion and by the horns of the bull and the ram. However, those animals whose food is from vegetation, God did not give them body parts used in digestion, which to hunt prey. So a cow has different nature than a lion. The Eibishter created the nature of a cow. He created the animal. In similar manner, we'll find that the various character traits of people and the structure of their bodies are each suited for specific type of business and work. And therefore, you can see you have different characters. Baruch Hashem, the Eibishter gave that a person's character is different. Just like an animal, the Eibishter created a character different. The Eibishter created our character different. We all have different characters. We shouldn't think that we all have the same character in life. That's why in Chassidus we learn that everybody has the two basic characteristic traits: Ava and Yira, love and fear. And in the concept of love and fear, which comes out of that, after that, you have the other six, the other five. But the basic principles is love and fear. Ava and Yira, which Ava is more a person who's more outgoing, and Yira is a person who's more of an introvert. And that changes in many different aspects in your life. Some people are more warm. Some people are more cold. Some people are more loving. Some people are seemingly less so loving, emotional. Some people like to hug everybody. Some people don't like that. And the truth is, some people are more outgoing, some people are more, and you can see that in the same family. You can see it in the same family itself. Some people are more emotional, some people are more sensitive, some people are less sensitive.
Absolutely.
Baruch Hashem, in a marriage, usually you have one that's more sensitive and one that's less sensitive, because you got two together, it would be a disaster. If you have two people that are not sensitive, then we would have a very unhappy situation. If you have two people that are sensitive, oy vey, that's why opposites attract. We need to have where the husband and wife, one has more things than the other. One has the other one gives to the other. That's you need to uplift each other. We need to take both our talents, and not that we are same. You don't want to marry. I would never want to marry somebody like me. Doesn't sound good, right? I like it, but I can't imagine if you had somebody like exactly like me, would be trouble. What?
Two of you would be too much.
With too much. It would be too much. I wanted to marry somebody that will complement me, somebody that will have things that I don't have, and would bring some different dimension into my life, right? I don't want to marry somebody exactly like me. So the Abishah says a man and woman are different. Baruch Hashem, we should marry, Dafka marry a man should marry a woman should marry a man, because they are different. Really, maybe we say men should marry men and the women should marry women. We get along better with men, and women seemingly get along better with women. Okay, we'll figure out. We can figure that out now. We don't have to. Yeah, we can figure it out. We can figure it out. We can figure that one out already now. So, but no, we get married because of mitzvah to get married. They wanted not only to have children, but to have children that have a father and mother, that have the balance of these two entities in their life, and that have the opposites. That's what you need to have. We need to have a concept of opposites, two people that are opposite. That's what it says. Eza Kenegda. Find somebody. When the Torah talks about marriage, it says Eza Kenegda. You should find somebody that's going to be help you. That's the opposite of you. Kenegda, it's the opposite of you. Yeah.
What happens if you have an adopted child? Is that a quadruple mitzvah?
100%. Sure, it's unbelievable. You take a child in, and you take a child in that doesn't have parents, and you bring them up as your child.
That was adopted as an Orthodox Jew.
Yeah, so it's gewaltig. It's unbelievable. He did a great mitzvah. He did an unbelievable mitzvah. 100%. 100%. A triple-headed mitzvah. Oh, good. You left before the juicy stuff. I didn't get to it. Look at it. I thought I was going to get to it. Yeah.
May I say something, please?
Yes, you can say whatever you want.
Thank you. This is a good, like, whoever wrote this book, he wrote it for men. It's still today, places say so Hashem instructed us to utilize women by.
Oh, we didn't get to that. That's what I was talking about. I didn't get to that. I was trying to get to that. I was going to get to that. That was the one I wanted you to be careful with, okay? So you have to bring it up quickly. So let's go there. Okay, again, that's what he meant. That's what I meant. That's what I was talking about. So again, but in essence, that the Eibishter wanted that we should let's get to it. Okay, why do you have to do this to me? Okay. So in similar manner, we find the right. Misha a person who finds that his character traits are suited to a certain work, and he also desires to work by nature, and that his body is suited for it, and that he's able to tolerate the exertion required for it, should pursue it and make his means to obtain his livelihood. He should tolerate both the pleasant aspects and the difficult aspects. He shouldn't become sick with it if at times he doesn't sufficiently provide for his sustenance. Rather, he should rely on God that will provide him with sufficient livelihood for his entire family. The Eibush will find him a way. He'll find him a way. How does he do that? When a person mind and body are occupied with the means of obtaining a livelihood, as well as when he's pursuing those means, he should have in his mind that he's doing so in order to fulfill the commandment of his creator. He's not only going to work because he needs to find a parnasa. He's going to work because that's a mitzvah to go to work. It's a mitzvah to Torah. It's a mitzvah, it's a commandment to Torah, go to work. He's not only getting married because he's fallen in love, because it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to get married. It's a mitzvah.
Yeah, but I.
It is a mitzvah. And the truth is, in halacha, the mitzvah is on the man to get married. It's not a mitzvah on the woman to get married. It's a mitzvah on the man to get married. It's a mitzvah on the man to pursue a woman, not on a woman pursuing a man. I say that's good. I'm saying the halacha. That's the halacha. So it's a mitzvah on the man to get married. It's a what? The mitzvah of the man. The man. It's a mitzvah on the man. It's not a mitzvah on the woman. It's a mitzvah on him. He has that mitzvah. Selfishly, he cannot do this mitzvah without his wife, but he has the mitzvah. It's his obligation. It's his responsibility. That's why under the chuppah, it's all the man's responsibility, not the woman's responsibility. Jesus has to be there. That man's responsibility. But it's totally his responsibility. It's his responsibility to make his wife happy. There's no mitzvah in the Torah to make your husband happy, because he'll never be happy. But that was not true. It's not your mitzvah, because it's easy to make him happy, maybe. It's not the mitzvah. It's not the mitzvah. The mitzvah of Torah is on the man to marry his wife, to support his wife, to do everything, to create the home, to do everything that he is obligated to do.
But isn't it a mitzvah wife to take care of the husband?
No, there's no shush mitzvah.
Is that a mitzvah?
It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. No, because the Eibush knew. You know why? I'll tell you why I believe. Because God knew that the woman will take care of the husband without the mitzvah. The woman will take care of her husband without the mitzvah. Because that's her nature, is a nurturing thing that she'll take care of her husband. A man is not his nature to take care of anything. Nature.
That's what they call
It's not his nature. His nature is to conquer. His nature is to build. His nature is to acquire. That's the difference between man and woman. A man is chachma, is his nature to acquire. A woman is bina, her nature is to develop. They have two different natural instincts.
But isn't it?
And that's what the truth is we have within ourselves, man and woman. We have a nature of, and that's why we have chesed and bina within ourselves. That's true. We have the concept, our masculine side is to acquire, our feminine side is to develop. Bina is to develop.
The woman to raise the children and take care of the home.
There's no such mitzvah.
To bear children.
There's no such mitzvah.
Bearing children is not a mitzvah.
There's no mitzvah. The man has to raise the children. His obligation is to teach. The Torah is on the man. His obligation is to teach his children.
Okay.
The woman is no obligation.
Nothing.
But without the woman, you have nothing. She's like Keres Abayis. She's without the woman, you have nothing. It's not a mitzvah. It's nothing. A mitzvah is an extra thing. Woman is everything.
Thank you.
That's the truth. The Chazal, when they went to they cuddle Ishti Basi, he said, I call my wife my house. She's my everything. I'm an extra thing to the house. But my wife is everything. She's my house. She's everything. Everything I have is my wife. It's a mitzvah. A mitzvah is an extra thing. It's like simcha and atzvus. Simcha is not a mitzvah, and atzvus, depression, is not an aveda. There's no mitzvah in the Torah to be happy. Besides in Yontiv, it says openly you shall be happy. There's no mitzvah to be happy. There's no aveda to be depressed. But everything is based on happiness and in a positive way, and everything will be destroyed if you're depressed in a negative way. It's not a mitzvah. It's not a, it's everything. It's everything. transforms every mitzvah. Happiness elevates every mitzvah. And sadness demotes every mitzvah. It's more than a mitzvah. Your wife is more than a mitzvah.
Jesus said, everything I owe is to Rachel.
Correct. Everything, because she's everything.
Everything I have.
That's it. So it's not a mitzvah. A mitzvah is one thing. Your wife is everything. You should look at your wife as everything.
Think of that here. There's a lot of-
Alter Rebbe.
I see wood burning over here.
The Alter Rebbe the Alter Rebbe was once walking out of his house and he heard his wife say, "My husband." He said, "Wow, with one mitzvah, I became yours." With one mitzvah, I did one mitzvah. I did kedushin and I became yours, my husband. I became yours. How many mitzvahs do I become God's? With one mitzvah, I became yours. How many mitzvahs I need to become God's? How many?
613.
No, one mitzvah.
Good number.
Do one mitzvah and you become the Abish's. That's it. You do one mitzvah, you become the, I did one mitzvah and I belong to you.
Mitzvah a day?
See the joke, well, a rabbi who came, one mitzvah, that's it.
Every mitzvah.
Every mitzvah, you become God's.
Every mitzvah.
That's it.
Connect.
Look at that, one mitzvah, he married you, you became me, he became you, you became his.
But the clock is broken.
It's 11:10. I'm done. Okay, I wanted to get over with this thing. I don't want to do with the women, so we get over with it. So, but we're never getting to it. Okay.
It's very. You can keep going.
Yeah.
We'll stay if you can stay.
There's no clock on the wall.
It's a clock in my hand.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just knock. I want to get to the end of 3, so let's just bring this on, okay? So he should tolerate. Okay, Yechavin, when a person's mind is occupied with the means of obtaining. Right, I said this already. So obtaining life such as working on the land, plowing and sowing it. As it says in the verse, God took man and he placed him in the Garden of Eden. Why did he put Adam and Eve? Why did he put in the Garden of Eden? To work it, to guard it. Similarly, God instructed a person to use living creatures for his benefit of food, to build cities, to prepare food for him, to instruct them to utilize. Okay, that was the one I was talking about. To marry women, to live with them, the purpose of bearing children. A person will be rewarded for these actions when his intention in doing so is for the sake of God. When he's rewarded regardless of whatever or not he achieved that which he desired, as it's written, that's the beauty. So that's why a lot of people, if you don't have children, or the children, if you did a l'shem shamayim, if I did it for the mitzvahs, I did what the Eibishter wanted. That's what the Eibishter wanted. The Eibishter didn't tell you what kind of children you're going to have. Didn't tell you before you're gonna have this marriage. Oh, these are the children. I only want these kind of children. Today, they can genetically, you want blue-eyed, red-eyed, you want it to be smart, you want it to be stupid, you want it to be tall, you want it to be. You can genetically. That's what God wanted. That you should genetically have children. You're the children that you want. No, you should do what the Eibishter wants you to do, and whatever the Eibishter gives you is what the Eibishter wanted you to have. If you're gonna think that I'm gonna genetically plan my kid, and what happens doesn't come out that way. Yitzchak Avinu had a Yaakov and an Esau. Avraham Avinu had a Yitzchak and an Ishmael. Right, the same Yitzchak and Rivka, two holy people, had an Esau. What do they think? They killed themselves. They had an Esau, and trust me, nobody has an Esau. I can promise you, nobody has a child that's an Esau. So we're pretty good off.
But I did have twins.
Right?
I did have twins, and I did not put in an order for that.
Yeah, you see, you got twins too.
So you had.
You even got twins too. And she did not put in the order for that
I
either.
did not put in an order.
But the Eibishter put in the order.
Somebody put it.
The Eibishter, God put in the order. He put the order in, and he's the ultimate accountant. So he put the order, and that's what the Eibishter wanted. You did what the Eibishter wanted, and Baruch Hashem. And Baruch Hashem, you did what the Eibishter wanted. That what's going to happen to the children, what they're going to be like, that's their problem. That's the future. Well, I have to do what the Eibishter wanted me to do. And if I did it because I did what the Eibishter wanted me to do, then there's nothing to worry about what the outcome is going to be per se. And that's what you have to do that. If you eat and toil with your hands, you are praiseworthy and you're good for you. And as the rabbis of blessed memory said, all your deeds shall be for the sake of heaven. And is for the sake of heavens, his reliance on God will be wholesome. And his efforts in engaging in various means of obtaining a livelihood will not any way harm his trust in God. Because I do what I'm supposed to do. It works out, it doesn't work out. That's the Eibishter who makes it works out, it doesn't work out. Christian shouldn't think that his livelihood hinges upon the specific means that he chooses for himself. And those means to be withheld from him, then his livelihood would not come through in other means. That's ridiculous because the Eibishter, God, is the one who will orchestrate that. Instead, he should rely on God that he will sustain him. He should go to recognize from the perspective of the Creator, all various means are equal, and they can trust in him with any of these means that he chooses, at any time that he chooses, in any manner that he decides. We're ending off the chapter 3, Baruch Hashem, as the verse says in Samuel's, with the Lord, there's no limitation to save whatever there are, many or few, as it says in Deuteronomy. For he who gives you strength to make wealth, and as it says in Zechariah, not by the military force, not by physical strength, but by the Spirit, says the Lord of hosts. And that's how he completes chapter 3 of this book. God bless you all. Hope you learned something today.
Yes.
And in Mircea, we'll see you next Sunday. We'll continue chapter 4 of Shara B'Tochen. Hopefully we can get finished this book and have a wonderful and beautiful day.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's your question?
Well, I can make it like